President Rodrigo Duterte spoke to the nation again last night. The president's address lasted for more than an hour and a half, and it ended shortly before midnight. Lots of topics were discussed, and we have our Trisha Tirada to give us the highlights. Trisha, good morning. Let's begin with the COVID updates. What did the president have to say about that?
Sure, Ria. President Rodrigo Duterte wants free COVID testing in government hospitals by next year. He directed Health Secretary Francisco Duque to find a way to make this possible by first or second quarter 2021. The president asked DOH to create a program for testing in government health facilities, and he will look for the money to fund it. The president says it may take a while to get at least 60 million vaccinated, so in the meantime, he says the key to prevention is testing.
Ang importante pala, sa totoo lang, na-realize now, it's the testing. Yung swabbing, pati yung test. Kasi mahal, I'm trying to figure out a cheaper way of doing it. If we are to really avoid and limit the virus, government itself must provide for the, curative and palliative or whatever, preventive. And one of those is really the swabbing. Palamaraman ka.
But prior to this, President Duterte has issued an executive order directing the Trade and Health Departments to set a price cap on testing, which they already did. It's currently at 4,000 to 5,000 pesos for private hospitals and 3,800 pesos for public facilities. Noting the possible need for spaces to isolate infected patients, Mr. Duterte also directed local government units to make arrangements with hotels, motels, and inns to accommodate suspected COVID cases. The president is taking full responsibility in paying for these accommodations and simple meals. The president says he will also ask Congress to find a way to pay them, and he assures them that they will be paid on time. He says the national government will also take care of decontaminating the rooms. But this setup actually is already existing. Months ago, in the earlier days of the pandemic, several local government units have tapped hotels, motels, and inns as isolation facilities like in Pasig City and Manila City. They have also used the duration of the total lockdown to build quarantine facilities. Back to you.
Trisha, we know that this holiday season is going to be very, very different from any we've ever had. What did the president think about the stringent measures for the holidays?
Well, the president is supportive of the IATF protocols for that includes the ban on Christmas parties, carolings, and reunions, among others. Mr. Duterte apologizes on behalf of the government for intervening in the private affairs of Filipinos this Christmas, but he says it's for everybody's sake. Interior Secretary Eduardo Anyo reiterates that only immediate members or household members should join the Noche Buena celebrations. He says they can have virtual celebrations in Zoom or to the conference with extended families. He also reminds everybody that gatherings are limited up to 10 people. Mr. Duterte appeals to the public to skip or avoid festivities to prevent the infection from spreading.
Alam ko po, ngayon pa lang, we are saying sorry that there will be a curtailment of so many things that you have been used to during Christmas time. Look at it this way. All of the Christmas of your lifetime, ngayon lang naman ito isang beses hinihingi ng gobyerno para sa iyo. Para sa iyo. Hindi para sa gobyerno.
The president also warned those who will be caught indiscriminately firing during Christmas and New Year. Mr. Duterte says they will be detained in messy comfort rooms. He instructs the police to keep comfort rooms of detention facilities dirty for Christmas and New Year, as these are reserved for those who will be arrested for indiscriminate firing. Meantime, the president is eyeing a ban on firecrackers by December next year. So he's giving vendors and business owners a leeway until this Christmas and New Year to sell their products. Ria?
Well, Tricia, speaking of Christmas, I heard the president isn't too keen on declaring a ceasefire against the New People's Army. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, no more ceasefire, not just for this Christmas, but for the rest of the president's term. The chief executive says this decision came about as the peace talks broke down. President Duterte shares he doesn't like the way the other side or the communist rebels play. The chief executive says he's against the idea or their idea of a coalition government, which Mr. Duterte says involves sharing of powers between the communist group and the government.
No stupid president will allow it. He will get impeached. He will get impeached by... You're not supposed to share that power. I cannot compromise anything in this government. It's either I will be impeached or the military and the police will shoot me. Mamili lang ako sa dalawa dyan. Ipapasubo mo ang Republic of the Philippines, papatayin ka talaga. Because you are a traitor of your country.
The president says he will name and identify all communists before his term ends. Mr. Duterte says the communists cannot argue on the basis of distinction between being a member of the movement and the New People's Army. For the president, it's simple as the act of one is the act of all. For example, the act of an NPA soldier, he says, is considered the act of Representative Carlos Duterte and all the members. Mr. Duterte also laments the exploitation of the Lumas. He says communists destroyed their quiet living. The president is convinced that all communists are bad because they are conspiring to overthrow the Philippine government, but he says they will not succeed. Back to you, Ria.
Thanks for that, our Tricia Terado reporting there.